Okay, Rabbi Isai, here we go. So nice to see everybody. Baruch Hashem. We are in the new year. Tav Shin Pei Aleph. It's a new year, and it means we have a lot of work to do this year in order to basically save the world. Nothing short of that. And there's just something I have to get off my chest first, is that people really think that this world is all there is. A lot of the anarchy and a lot of the problems that are going on in the world is that people actually believe that there's only one world. And if there's one world, you could basically get away with all sorts of things. You can get away with all sorts of actions, all sorts of negative behavior, because like in the original machloikis of Cain and Abel, so Hevel said, Yesh din v'yesh dayin. You know that there's law, there's justice, and there's a judge who's going to bring everybody to justice. And Cain said, no, there's ein din v'ein dayin. This world, it's all there is. And this world is only but a prusdor. It's like you go into a wedding, you know, before you get to the actual wedding, you go to the entry. You go into the entry hallway. It's just to lead you to the next place. This world goes by so fast. And the whole eternity is the chasana, is the big wedding. And there needs to be a refocusing, that we start to realize that this world is not the end of the story. This world is just the beginning of the story, my friends. And once you know that, your actions become super relevant in this world. I'm not just doing things, but I know that everything is leading to me towards this ultimate vision, this ultimate reality. And that means that I'm very conscious of my actions. Very conscious. So in today's Gems with Rabbi Nachman, I want to just first tell you something that it says in the Arizal. You guys heard of the Arizal? The Arizal, the great Kabbalist from the 1500s. So he says an amazing thing. He says, and we do this lahalacha, that when you finish your Amidah, and when you finish the Kaddish, Aviskada, Aviskadash, at the end, and you say, Oiseh Shalom, right? Oiseh Shalom b'imroimah, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. What do we say special during that section during these 10 days? Anybody know? Oseh HaShalom. Oseh, this works nice. I like when they work stark. Ha! Shalom. The one who makes the peace. Ha Shalom. Anytime you have a hey hayidiyah, it pumps up the thing. This is peace. Okay? Says the Arizal. Ha Shalom. What's the gematria? Hey is 5. Let's work it out. 5. 300. 30. 6. 40. Who's good at math?
381.
Excellent. Says the Arizal, there's a certain angel. You know, when you open the Arizal, they talk a lot about this stuff. Angels. Now, angels aren't anything physical, by the way. Angels are forces, spiritual forces. There's a certain angel during these 10 days that's responsible for writing all the good things you do in the book of life. This angel basically is all the time the scribe, the holy scribe, putting all those things that have to go into the book of life in the book of life. And that's what we're all talking about. All these books are open during these days. And we want to be written right in the book of life. That's the blessing we're giving everybody even during these 10 days. We wish everyone Gemar Chatima Tova. Your final sealing should be good. It should be sealed, a good stempel. You should have a good stamping. And it should be good for you in this book, these books. And we know that everyone has these books. Our whole life is a book. You guys are writing the sefer of your life. So there's a certain malach, and this malach has this name. The one who is sofer, the one who is the sofer of God, God's scribe. So what's the gematria? 10, 1, 30. Yeah? 60. This angel, when you say Ha Shalom, you should have in mind that I'm aware that there's this angel that's involved in putting all of my good deeds in this book of life, the scribe of God, and he's writing all the things down. Now the question we're going to address today, and we're going to use Rabbi Nachman to help us the next few days, is it's very nice that there's this wonderful angel that writes all the good things in the book of life, but what's that have to do with Ha Shalom? Why should it be exactly there in Ha Shalom? Oseh Ha Shalom. It must be, and we know, this is a big yesod, this is a foundational idea, that anytime when you have something with two gematrias that are the same, means that there's some connection there. It might seem funny to you why these two things are connected, but there is something there. So you have to plunge and look to the depths to see what's going on there. So on a simple level, you can say that the person wants to be written in the book of life. So one of the greatest ways to do that is to be a person of shalom, to be a person of peace. If you're a person who's always into making fights, not a great way to be sealed in the book of life. If you're somebody who's a man of peace, not just shalom, ha shalom, my whole life is peace, then you're going to be signed in the book of life. Let's take this one step deeper, and we're going to use Rabbi Nachman to help us. Rabbi Nachman says in Sichos Moharan that a person on Rosh Hashanah should be very careful to only have good thoughts. Only have good thoughts. I think Peter Pan used to say, happy thoughts. To go to my happy place. Happy thoughts on Rosh Hashanah. Only good thoughts. Even so much so that certain people maybe should be careful not even to speak so much. At least on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, or during these 10 days, some people are very careful with their speech, because they only want to say good things. They want to think good things. So what's the connection? Rabbi Nachman says you want a good year, make sure to have happy thoughts during these days, good thoughts. What's the connection to this angel and the shalom? So it's basically like this. When does a person feel he's able to have happy thoughts? When he's disturbed, when he's always perturbed by life, and he's always angry and upset at people, and this guy, what do you know what he did to me? This guy took my parking spot, bro. I was signaling. I was in America this summer. It was amazing just driving a car again. Encountering like world with cars and people trying to get into parking spots, and road rage is crazy. I saw crazy people. By the way, the world has gotten much crazier in the last little bit. People are a little bit more on edge. So is it easy to have happy thoughts when you feel discombobulated? When you feel unwell, when you just feel scattered? When do you feel like you're able to be in that happy place? When you're fighting with your chavruza? When, God forbid, a husband and wife are fighting? When is a person able to conjure up those happy thoughts? He's at peace. When there's shalom. Shalom, which means the coming together, shleimut, a bonding, a merging together of seemingly opposite things. We talk about shalom bayis. So there's nothing more opposite than a man and a woman. As much as they're going to tell you in the world that what I'm saying is not true, You fight back, my friends. Yeah, Yeshua Koyach. Anyways, it's already written in Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. This is old news here. I'm surprised that book hasn't been blacklisted along with Teeth Whitener. You understand what I mean? Everything now is racist and problematic. But that's only because the world has gone Meshuggah. And we are fixing the world. We're essentially bringing back the world to equilibrium. So Shalom Bayis means that you could have two people that are the exact opposite. A husband and wife think differently, and that's how they complement each other, and they're able to build something beautiful. But the shalom is that you have two forces that are so different, but you're able to create a harmony. You're able to, in a certain way, because of the differences, because of the different instruments in the symphony, you're able to create something more beautiful than any of the individual parts. So when a person can make shalom, even if he's different, and he starts to create unity amongst other people, with his chavrusa, when everything's going good with your chavrusa, you have all sorts of nice thoughts about it. But all of a sudden he starts showing up late, and then he just took an extra long coffee break, and then it starts to become less shalom, and the thoughts are not so good. Shalom, peace, is the basis of happy thoughts. When a person feels at peace with his surroundings, at peace with his wife, at peace with his friends, with his dorm mates, even if they, put a couple of dirty things on the floor, it's okay. It's okay. All the guys are like, oh yeah, I was waiting for that one to come out. It's okay. You can make this peace, and from peace, all happy thoughts come. So the question is, how do I really, really make peace with people that just get on my nerves? How do I really make peace? And I'll even go even further. How do I make peace with myself? Sometimes I myself feel like I'm not at peace with myself. And by the way, that's not so wild of a thought, considering the fact that you have a neshama inside of your body. Those are two very different things. We're talking about making peace with your soul, which all it wants is meaning and purpose, and a body that essentially all it wants is instant gratification. How do you create this inner peace inside? How do I create peace in my surroundings, peace with my friends, family members, parents, siblings, grandparents, nieces, nephews, uncles, aunts, everyone, co-workers, bosses? It's usually a trickier one. I want to have peace. Because when peace comes, then happy thoughts will come. So we're going to speak for the next couple days about happy thoughts. And we're going to use the gems of Rabbi Nachman to understand how to have happy thoughts. And a lot of it is going to be a perspective of how we look at people, how we look at the world in general, and really how we look at ourselves. If we want to create this peace, which is so dependent on being sealed in the book of life, and we said it's all about having the happy thoughts, because when you have peace, you have happy thoughts. But we want to create an environment of peace and an environment of happy thoughts, an environment of positive thinking, positive psychology, looking at the world with the right perspective, essentially judging the world in the right way. And if a person hasn't picked up on it by this point, certainly we have to see Rabbi Nachman Reish Pei Beis. Reish Pei Beis, in the first volume, 282. 282. 282. This is probably the most famous Breslov Torah. If you ever go to any Breslov place and you knock on the door, and they open up the little, who is it? You're like, I'll just tell you, say one thing to them. Reish Pei Beis, 282. They're like, come on in! Let's go! Close the door quick, come on in. That is the code. There's another word for that, it's called a zamra, but we'll wait for that in a second. Just you tell them, Reish Pei Bet, if you're Sephardi. Reish Pei Bet, you will be granted full access. What did you say? Any place that is friendly with Rabbi Nachman, you just go and say Reish Pei Bet. Which means there must be something here that's the overarching, the quintessential, the point that the dreidel of life is spinning on, which is this Torah, which is this idea, and it really represents all of Rabbi Nachman and everything we've been discussing thus far of being able to pull Jews out from the most difficult places. It's all centered around this one Torah, Reish Pei Bet. Okay, and therefore, so when you knock on the door and they open up, what are you going to tell them?
Reish Pei Beis.
Reish Pei Beis. That was good. Right away, you just got to tell Reish Pei Beis. There's no hesitation. I'm telling you, the same thing's going to happen to you guys when you get up to heaven. There's going to be many, many doors up there. They talk about these doors and these gates. And you want to be able to go through these gates. And there's different people that guard the gates up there. And they're going to ask you for some passwords. Just like down here, there's passwords. You want to get access to something, right? What's the code? When you get up there, right, like remember the clubs back in the past lifetime? The bouncer's like, who are you? So that's what they do up there. You want to get the VIP access, right? To the inner circle stuff. They're going to open the thing and they're going to say, what's the code? And you just tell them, Reish Pei Beis. And they'll open the door and you're going to walk in. Okay? You heard it here first. Remember this. So let's begin. Da. We said, what does da mean? Anytime Rabbi Nachman, he starts a lot of his Torahs with da. It means no, but it means open up your heart. It means you have to really, and it means, we have a Kabbalah that it means that Rabbi Nachman pulled this Torah down from the highest world of Atzilus. That these are the highest Torahs. When he says da, what he's about to reveal to you is from the highest realm. So Rabbi Nachman says da. Ki tzarich loden es kol ha'adam l'chav zchus. You need to judge every single person favorably. Big statement. Chazal say it. Rabbi Nachman goes one step further. That's already Chazal. Afilu mishu rasha gomer. Even if the guy is a wicked, horrible man, you need to judge him favorably. You should know, Rabbi Nachman is famous for saying very controversial opening lines and getting people raising their eyebrows, and then in the most wondrous, beautiful way, academically, sound, according to the laws of the entire Torah and Kabbalah and Chassidus, explains exactly what he means. Where by the end of the Torah, you come out just mesmerized of how he actually pulled that off. So right now, Reb Nachman is charging us, and this could not be more appropriate. Getting ready for Yom Kippur. How do I look at other people? Reb Nachman says you need to judge everybody favorably. What do you mean that guy who did that thing? We don't mean his actions. We mean him. Even if he's a Rosh Hashanah, a totally wicked person. Let's see what he says. Sarich, how do I do that? Reb Nachman doesn't leave us hanging. He's going to explain, he's going to give us direction. Sarich lechapes, you have to start digging, looking. Excavating, I like this. Lechapes, digging away. It doesn't mean anything physical. It means when you look at a human being, you think this guy is the most wicked person that ever walked the face of the earth, or he did that horrible thing to you, or took your parking space, and you just want to let him know. It says your name on it, reserved for the vice president. That's you. What does he think he is? He's like this newbie over here. Who does this guy think he is? Oh, I'm going to show him. You have to start looking. L'chapes. And what? V'limtso. And you will find. Bo'ez na'atov. You will find, if you just look, you will find good inside of him. There will be good. Even if it's a tiny bit. Even if it's the tiniest, most minuscule bit of good, you will find it there. You have to look. You will find. You have to search though. It's going to take mental excavation to find that good. Shiba oisa hama'at einai rasha. You hearing these words? Because when you find that good, is he wicked in that good? What do you mean? He's wicked, right? No, wait a second. Let's find some good. Let's start digging. Start digging. Start digging. Oh, all of a sudden you find. In that point, which we're going to call the Nikuda Tova, that's Rabbi Nachman's. Nikuda Tova is also, if you knock on the door and they ask for the password, you can also say Nikuda Tova. They'll let you in also, don't worry. Nikuda Tova, the point of good, which has other code words for Pintal Yid. You heard of that one? The spark of the Jew that can never go out. It's inside every single one of us. It's hinted to by the Ner Tamid on top of the Aron, the ever-burning candle. That it means that there's a place inside of us that's totally good that can never go out. We get it covered over. But if you can find that in that place, everything is good. And even a totally wicked person is good in that place. How are we going to develop this more? To be continued tomorrow. Yeshua Koyach Nabaisa. A wonderful day, Yiddish.